Now to our very first story. Victims of violent clashes earlier this year at Old Tafo in Kumasi are yet to receive compensation 6 months after an investigative team finished its work. One person died and several others were injured while property, including buildings and vehicles, were destroyed. A committee set up to investigate the incident was also tasked to collate and prepare inventory on damaged property to be considered for compensation. Ohim Interior reports from Old Tafo.
While suspects arrested in connection with the clashes are yet to face the law, victims have been left to their fate. Daniel Kwame Apia is registrar at the Old Tafo Traditional Council. He says the delayed compensation of victims has a negative impact on the peace-building process.
We do apologize for that. We'll bring you that report later in this bulletin. Our residents of Dodo Amanfrom in the Kpando district of the Volta region are bemoaning the upsurge of crime in the area due to a lack of adequate policemen to keep security intact. Now, according to the residents, the 5 police officers provided by the Ghana Police Service is woefully inadequate, making it difficult for them to fight crime and respond to distress calls on time. Kpando visited the area and has come through with this report.
Dodo Amanfrom has a population of about 5,000, making it one of the biggest communities in the Volta region of Ghana. Police records available show there has been an increase in smuggling, farm theft and other petty crimes in the community. In a bid to bring closure to this, the Ghana Police Service posted 5 policemen to the area. But this number, according to the residents in the area, does not help the cause for a crime-free area. Nkoswohene of the community, Nana Kojunyami, tells me having more police posts and personnel will help remedy the situation.
Really, the police accommodation is deplorable. The community are now trying to mobilize some funds to renovate some of their buildings. And the police, the strength of the police too they are not many. They are only 5 serving the whole community. The population of Dodo Amanfrom is almost 5,000 and the surrounding villages.
These 5 police officers who have been posted to the area are having to grapple with deplorable conditions of service. Records are made manually. The post also lacks computers and other modern policing information storage equipment. The charge office of a station also leaks terribly with gaping holes in the ceiling. Accommodation facilities for the police in the community are also deplorable and can best be described as disasters waiting to happen. Walls of the buildings are caving in, huge cracks are wearing them down, and portions of the roofs leak badly when it rains. Portions of the ceilings are also peeling off and falling apart. The toilets, washrooms and kitchens at the barracks are also near collapse. Members of the community say they fear the situation, if not checked, could pose a serious threat to the lives of a few police personnel and their families who live in these bad structures.
The crime situation or area where saying police are no more available, are they able to manage the situation?
One way are there, but I can't say no my own police phone got rabbit down one.
Article 200 of the 1992 Constitution mandates the police service shall be equipped to perform its traditional role of maintaining law and order. However, the situation at Dodo Amanfrom in the Kpando district makes the UN policing standard of 1 police to 500 people in 2014 a distant dream. Kpando, Joy News, Dodo Amanfrom.
Let's still stay on security issues. The Ghana Police Service says it has stepped up efforts to rid the service of rogue officers. Director of Public Affairs of the service, Superintendent Cephas Arthur, tells Joy News, following suggestions, confidence in the police service has dwindled Over the numerous cases of crime involving police officers in the past weeks, the service will soon begin the reintroduction of some of its key internal security mechanisms to repose trust in the security agency. But even before we hear from him, here's a wrap of a few of the criminal activities some police officers have been involved in.
After a careful perusal of the two identity cards, both cards had the name of one of the suspected bandits, Ernest Kuranten, a general constable with the Ghana Police Service. The victim lodged a complaint with the Upper West Command of the Ghana Police Service. Upper West Crimes Officer of the Ghana Police Service, Superintendent Fuseni Agwenaba, confirmed the incident to Joy News, but was quick to add that 30-year-old Ernest Kuranten is no more with the Ghana Police Service.
As soon as we saw the ID card, we got to know that that guy was dismissed in February this year for a misconduct he got himself in Accra, so he was dismissed. So as soon as we got the picture, we have his number already. We called him to come for some discussion. So he came and we arrested him and interrogated him on the matter. He's denying.
I didn't come here before. So, Maza, do you saw me struggling with you or somebody? You are struggling with a man. So the man, the weight of the man is like me or somebody.
But we are questioning him as to how his ID card got to the scene. So as at now, he's in our custody.
The police have started investigation on the case and have even taken the suspect to the scene of the crime.
Immediately after the news broke that the police suspects have escaped from the hands of the police who were transporting them from Afram Plains to Nkoko, residents had to, come together. They gathered at where the incident happened, that is the filling station in Nkoko, and they were having some arguments with the police. They believe that the police know something about what really happened. They suspect that the police actually aided the suspect to flee. Sources say that they were being transferred from Donko Krom to Koforidia, the regional police command.
So those were actually two different reports put together. We can now hear from Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service, Superintendent Cephas Arthur, who says the service is committed to ridding the service of rogue officers.
The police administration appreciates the fact that this is a human institution. And for that matter, we will have few bad nuts creeping through and joining and perpetrating this kind of acts that cause fear among the public, that raises concern. And so over time, we have purposively put measures in place to throw these characters up so that we can weed them out of the service. SPC, Inspection and Monitoring Unit, these are the programs that we have implemented over time. I mentioned Police Intelligence and Professional Standards Bureau. I've mentioned Image Cleansing Campaign, Naming and Shaming, CCTV surveillance cameras spearheaded by COP Rosebio Atinga, and what is invoked presently is the Public Confidence Reaffirmation Program. We appreciate the fact that our kind of job is a special one. We must live above reproach. Usually some of these things are perpetrated against members of the public. And the police has an avenue for people who suffer one act of injustice or the other to seek redress with the police, the PIPS issue. And people who come there will attest to the fact that when they come there, they get justice. Sometimes when investigation is done and the matter weighs against the police officer, depending on the magnitude of the offense, sometimes it will just be an act of professional misconduct. That one, it is dealt in-house. That is where service inquiry is conducted. The person gets sometimes dismissed, reduced in rank, which we call demotion, or removed. The removed is like dismissal. By dismissal, you are sacked and you don't get anything. You don't get any compensation. But removal, whether you have got 20 more years to serve or to get to the age of 60, at which time you are to retire, you are sacked, but you are given whatever you have accumulated.
Why not consider making it known to the general public so people know that these things are going on, so they could also have some form of confidence?
Yeah, this is very important. During the previous IGP's administration, that is what we're doing. And the present IGP has hinted that we must start doing that again. The very fact that these few miscreant police officers are arrested or were arrested or have been arrested by their own is in itself an assurance to the general public that this is a police force that will not shield their own, especially the case that happened at Donkokron. I was there with the IGP and went to the spot where the incident occurred. And it was in the bush. The police officers, and the 4 police officers, the patrol team, that arrested their own, and they have been promoted to the next rank. I arrested them in the bush and identified their identities to be police officers in the bush. If they were also predisposed to crime or they would have also bargained with them and let them loose. But they kept them and brought them to their bosses, and their bosses also decided to blow their cover. The police administration also committed itself to ensuring that these people are brought so that they are processed for court, and that is what they do. This is a big assurance to the general public that, although we may have police officers who drag the name of the service in the mud, who may put the lives of the people that they are serving in danger, they have a police administration, they have a police service that will go after their own. And I can say that they are already in court.
On this same issue, security analyst Adib Sani, who spoke earlier on the AM show on the subject, said the timely intervention on the police is necessary in order to prevent a situation where citizens begin to think they are responsible for their own security.
It can affect elections because in conflict analysis, thanks to analysts like Gur, Burton and Maslow and our very own Dr. Vladimir Inchudansu, they have come out with a number of conflict theories that, as it were, would explain some of these issues. And one of those theories is what we call the pillar theory. Aside the pillar theory, we have a whole lot of others, including the pin theory, the position, interest, and need theory. But the pillar theory seeks to say that a conflict is not usually caused by one factor. It's a culmination or a litany of convoluted socio-economic, political, and even cultural deficits that breed conflict. And one of it might be due to the fact that the people have lost confidence and trust in the police service, and that is very dangerous with our democracy, because I've always contended that we and I've confirmed from superintendents the police population is about 32,000. When you do the mathematics, you realize that for each police service, for each police officer, there are about 780 Ghanaians. What it means is the police cannot be everywhere all the time. That is why it is important for them to harness that relationship, because worst case scenario, the communities in which they operate might even harbor these criminal elements. And I mean, we can learn so many lessons from other countries, including the United States, that of course we all look up to with the Black Lives Matter campaign. I mean, with police officers killing black youth. We need the cooperation of the communities in which you operate to help you do your job. As a matter of fact, their contribution, or when you gather intelligence from them, it helps a very great deal. And we shouldn't leave some of these to chance. There are some strategies put in place to gather intelligence about potential police officers. But it is imperative that we go a little deeper than we do. We have to intensify the intelligence.
You're watching Joy News Today with me, Benes Abubedu. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, there's more stories. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying on. Joining us today with me, Benis Abu Bedu. The outgoing moderator of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Mate, yesterday stirred controversy when he alleged that some unknown politicians tried to gag him from speaking on issues of national concern with a $100,000 bribe and other incentives. He said some politicians in the country offered him the money in addition to a promise of a 4x4 vehicle and a house at Trasacco if he kept quiet. He also hit back at accusations that the Presbyterian Church is supporting the opposition New Patriotic Party. He says the church does not and will not throw its support behind any political party in the country.
We are not outsiders. We should not treat politicians as our enemies, as outsiders.
There's nothing wrong with having them as part of your congregation.
We have about 3 months to election.
Indeed.
One of the major issues for all of us is a national cohesion, national peace before, during, and after election. And this is a concern almost everybody you talk to. Young people, children, elderly people, rich, poor, urban, rural. Everybody will want to see a Ghana that is in unity, that is cohesive, that is moving forward. But that is the point we are making, that we should.
I'm sorry about that. Let's go back to that story about Reverend Mate talking about some politicians who tried to bribe him with about $100,000 and a 4x4 vehicle to keep him quiet on issues on the country that he was speaking about.
When they speak, they shake the foundation. And it is only the church that will address meaningfully the canker going on, and they want to silence all credible voices. Now, today we will reveal everything to you. This question has, direct relation with the pronouncements of Reverend Professor Mate. Let me tell you why people do not want Professor Mate to talk. Listen, they have tried, politicians have tried all means, all means to muzzle me, to get me, but they can't. They come with bribes, fat envelope, $100,000. Listen. I want everybody to listen. Politicians came to my house with fat envelope, $100,000, not cedis, dollars, and also with the promises that, if you keep quiet, we will give you a house at Trasacco with swimming pool. You know what? We will give you 4-wheel drive. These people were lucky. I did not have big dogs in my house. Else I would have released the dogs to bite them. They have tried all means to muzzle me. They couldn't, and I tell you they can't. And you know what? I will speak today, I will speak tomorrow. The Presbyterian Church of Ghana does not belong to any party. And the Presbyterian Church of Ghana does not support any party. The Presbyterian Church of Ghana is in existence before all political parties came. And I want to say this. We have seen governments over governments. All governments that come to rule our dear nation, we partner, Presbyterian Church of Ghana partner them. Let me say this, and please let this be heard loud and clear. At the moment, the Presbyterian Church of Ghana is partnering NDC government in the governance of our nation. So those who say that Reverend Mate is NPP maybe they pay my NPP dues for me. That I'm in bed with Nanado, and every morning we eat. They come and then wash the plates for me. Listen, Reverend Mate is more complex than you can think. How can a full professor sell his conscience to one political party? Many penny banye fene di lulute. Now, if you don't know, if you who name Lulutia, Lulute your beer wajimia bre. Wow. So Reverend Mate is not just like one of them.
Meanwhile, General Secretary of the Christian Council, Reverend Dr. Amanfrom, has called for a national debate to address the interface between religion and politics. According to him, the two are of significant importance to the conduct of the 2016 general elections. He spoke earlier on Newsdesk.
We are not outsiders. We should not treat politicians as our enemies, as outsiders.
There's nothing wrong with having them as part of your congregation, but having them mount podiums.
That is why I've been saying that we need to work on the interface.
How do we work on them?
I think we must raise these issues among political group meetings, even in academic institutions. This issue, that subject must be raised because it's an obvious, it's a public thing. Religion and politics, some countries, the lines are clear. In this country, it's difficult. People are still swearing. Our president are still swearing with Bible and Quran, you know. So we need to work. It should be an academic issue. It should be an issue for the politicians. It should be an issue for the churches. Do
you think we should have a national debate around this?
I will go out for it.
A debate?
How the form it will take, but that we need to have a discourse. How do we want religion as a social institution, politics as a social institution, and many other institutions? Because now it is not only religion and politics. Traditional leaders are also having a challenge, you know. And these institutions are institutions that are very public, visible. We can't do away with. So how do we position, maybe reposition them? That together we seek the well-being of our people, the common good. We need religion in this country. We need politics in this country. They must work together. How is the issue you have just raised? Can we have a debate? What form? Maybe, Joy, you can raise this issue. And invite all of us. How should we handle the interface between religion and politics towards good governance? That is a desire for everybody. Traditional leaders want to see their people, you know, improving, young people being employed, children getting access to quality education, church people, politicians. And let's have this in mind, that Ghana cannot be developed only by politicians. Let's keep it clear in our mind. It's a collective.
Some say it's the politicians that are dividing the country and ensuring that we do not attain the goals we want.
If they're able to do that, they are doing their job as politicians. What's politics all about?
Division?
They need numbers. They want to know who is on our side.
So divide and conquer?
Not exactly, but they want to know who is on my side. So they must work at it. And if by so doing, they have to separate you from whatever they want, why not? That's politics.
So in summary, they try to divide the numbers, you try to bring together the numbers.
And then we have challenge. Because politicians also want some pastors, all of them, NDC, MPP, all of them will want to have pastors who have some soft spot for them.
Have you had any of these parties approach you?
No, because of the nature of my work. I work with NDC, I have friends, in NDC, good friends. The point is, the nature of my work. I work with almost all the political meetings. I've been to all kinds of meetings, NDC, MPP. Some of them walk into my office. I also go to some of them, their offices. And so you can't be a Christian Council of Ghana General Secretary and distance yourself from the politicians. They write to us. Their manifesto, when we were having this electoral, whether we should do a new voter register or not, NDC wrote to me, gave me a copy of their position. NPP did the same. So this is a common thing.
Okay.
You know, the current constitution, the constituency assembly that drafted it, the then General Secretary Christian Council, Reverend Davidate, was part of it. So Christian Council General Secretary, like other Muslim leaders, like other civil society group, you always are very close with them.
Reverend Dr. Puni Frimpong has also admonished Ghanaians not to take the peace the country is enjoying for granted, and he stated that it is important that we work within the confines of the law to ensure peace.
We have about 3 months to election.
Indeed.
One of the major issues for all of us is a national cohesion, national peace before, during, and after election. And this is a concern almost everybody you talk to. Young people, children, elderly people, rich, poor, urban, rural. Everybody will want to see a Ghana that is in unity, that is cohesive, that is moving forward. But that is the point we are making, that we should not assume that it will drop. It will not. It's not automatic. We must work at it. How do you do it? 3 months to election. Now the political temperature is about to rise even more, that because campaign and rallies are going to gather momentum. And how people want to handle their grievances. For instance, when you feel you are right, but somebody is not being fair, whether Electoral Commission is not fair, whether the police is not fair, whether media is not fair, whoever is not fair, how do you handle it? We have been witnessing kind of mob actions, you know, that you have not been fair to me. And in the process, I mobilize my people to block the road, to attack you, to burn police office, to attack somebody's house because you have sympathy, you know. And whether church people do it, whether Muslim people do it, whether party people do it, we must start addressing this issue, that we must work within the confines of the rule of the law. You know, it should not be that you have not been fair to me, and therefore I take the law into my own hands and do whatever I want to do. If we go that way, if church people, Muslims, political party, if we go that way, this country, we are throwing ourselves into the hands of the dogs.
This is your election headquarters. Assistant Head of Communication of the Electoral Commission, Yusuf Ayuba, has stated that the Commission is happy with the work it's done so far in the run-up to the December polls. He said even though there's still more work to do, the Commission has performed its task to satisfaction. He made the statement in Wa at a 2-day capacity building workshop organized by the EC with support from USAID. Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
The purpose of the 2-day training capacity building workshop on the communication strategy and the 5-year strategic development plan of the Electoral Commission is to build the capacity of its officials and the National Commission on Civic Education, NCCE, for the upcoming presidential and parliamentary elections. Upper West Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, Azu Boscos, advised the participants to communicate their message in simple language to enable them reach their targeted audience.
We must also take note that when we go out there to talk to them, we must be very good listeners. As they bring to ask us questions, we must take time and listen. And we don't just go out there to communicate to people without preparing very well. We need to also prepare very well before we go out. You don't prepare very well, and you go out, you get yourself messed up.
One major headache of the Electoral Commission is the issue of rejected ballots, which is Assistant Head of Communications, Yusuf Alasan Ayuba, said they are working hard to correct. Mr. Ayuba said the EC was satisfied with the work they have done so far towards the December polls.
Elections starts with registration. We've done the limited registration. The Supreme Court ordered us, to delete persons who register with the NHIS, and afford them an opportunity for them to re-register. We've done that. We also did continuous registration, because the law mandates the Electoral Commission to do continuous registration in Section 9 of the CI 91. The same section says that the Electoral Commission shall, in consultation with the political parties, agree on the modality. So when the modalities were agreed upon, we implemented continuous registration. So after that, we'll exhibit the register come early September. Then from there, we'll start the process of filing of nominations. We'll also open the opportunity for persons who want to transfer their votes. So we are on course, and we are very happy with the processes so far.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Maybe the interpreter.